Well, good evening. This is Gina Tadella, and tonight I'm going to show Peaceful Pier once again. I showed it when it first came out in the May catalog, and now I'm going to show 3 different cards that are very easy to create. So, anyways, this is red rubber, and I need to put them on the blocks. So that means that they are cling stamps. So, and we'll go ahead and get these mounted on the blocks. Okay. The fish. And I think I want to use both of them because I'm going to make a background with them besides stamping them. And the tree. And of course, the fisherman. And if I need the other ones, I'll pull them back out. Anyways, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining me live or watching my replay when you get a chance to watch it. These are going to be on the same wavelength of creating them. Just going to be different colors of cardstock. So anyways, so we're going to have a piece of balmy blue. And this is 4 1/4 by 11. These are going to be landscape cards. Hello, Bee. Thanks for joining in. We're going to go ahead and fold this in half. You match up your 2 corners, top and bottom. Hello, Linda. Thanks for joining, too. Anyways, let me scroll my thing back up. There we go. And you can use a bone folder or your fingers. You flip this over. Go ahead and do both sides. And of course, we have a basic white, a 4 by 5 1/4, which we're going to put a background on it. And I pulled out a piece of DSP from the B paper, and I'm just using this as a piece that goes on the left. And it's a 1 inch by 4 inch. And this is pecan pie, 2 3/4 inch square with basic white, 2 1/2 inch square. So the measurements are the same on all of them. But the first one, we're going to go ahead and stamp a background on the white piece. And this is going to be the fish. And I'm just going to use Mossy Meadow. And then we're using Memento Pad to stamp the image that I'm putting on the squares. So, anyways, as soon as I have it inked them up, I'm going to prime them first, which I just did, excuse me. And then we're just going to make a background. I'm just going to move it over just a little bit so that way they're not right directly underneath each other. This is what we used to do when we didn't have background stamps, or we had DSP, and this one didn't get stamped real well, but that doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up by the DSP. I forgot to press on it. When you're using the clear blocks, you always want to make sure you press on the center of those. Okay, and we'll move that out of the way. And that's what that's going to look like. Which is, and then we're going to put this over here so that faux pas is not going to show. Now we want to stamp on this piece, the 2 1/2 inch square. And we're going to stamp the fisherman. Can you believe our summer is more than halfway gone? And we're using the Memento Pad. That's the one you want to use when you're using the Stampin' Blends. If you're using the Stampin' Right markers, you want to use the StazOn pad, or you plan to watercolor it. you want to use the stays on. But when you're using the memento pads, you use this one with the Stampin' Blends. Okay, so now that's going to go on there. Now we're going to just highlight a couple of areas on this. I need to take my glasses off while I'm coloring. Oh, you looking forward to the fall, Linda? My son said the same thing. And I'm just going to highlight the outside of the frame of the chair. Make it believe that it's wood, not metal. And I'm using the writer tip points. It's easier to color. I got one more leg there. We can just use that on the fishing pole as well. The other part's down there. Okay. I hear you, Bee. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and use a balmy blue to color his shirt. And whenever you want it a little bit darker in certain areas, just go back and highlight it again. Or just use an alternative color. Like I want his collar to be a little bit darker. And then the shirt's right there up underneath. And we'll have him have some blue galoshes. And the other one I'm going to do the fisherman again, but we're not going to color him at all. You don't have to. So just to give you that heads up. Okay, then we're going to color his pants gray. I love coloring. It makes it so therapeutic. And of course we're going to highlight the bottom of his boots with the gray. Okay, now for the back of this chair, I'm going to use the soft sea foam. And I'm just using the brush on that. And of course I'm going to use it on his hat too. And this marker's about had it. And then the Bermuda Bay, I'm going to color the fish with. That he caught on the line, and the back of his suspenders. So that stands out. And that's it. That's all the coloring there is to that. Now we're going to get the handy dandy glue. Oh, I need to put this sentiment. Now I'm going to stamp the sentiment at the very top. You can even do it sideways. Thinking of you today. All right. So now we're ready to go. And it doesn't look like I got that straight. I didn't. I hope I have a scrap piece of paper out here. I believe I do. I'm going to have to stamp that. That's why I always suggest stamping on. What do you call it? Stamping on a scrap piece versus stamping on the actual one. There we go. Because that sentiment didn't come out straight at all. Look, we had a scrap piece. I think I don't have it mounted straight because I stamped that one straight. Yep, it's crooked on the block. That's why. So, let's line this up. I'll just flip that over so I don't waste the paper. That's straight. So, that's what happens. Then, of course, I've got to use the scissors. Thank you, Linda. But it wasn't straight, believe me. I could see that. I'll put that over there. Of course I can't cut straight. I can hear B2 saying, yeah, I can't cut straight either. That's all right. All right. That's much better. I'll just mount that to the top. Nobody's going to know the difference. Just bringing it down. There we go. All right, now we're able to mount that. And you didn't have to put a sentiment on there anyway, so yes, for the word of the wise, always stamp it on a scrap piece and then use a punch to punch it out. Or your scrap pieces of long skinny that you cut off when you're making your pieces to fit. So there's that. Now we want to put this DSP on first before we mounted the card, in case I made it too long on one side. So I'm just going to go to the edge, Perfect. Okay, now we're ready to mount that to our card base. And these are manly cards tonight, or to somebody that's a fishing enthusiast. There we go. I can see that this card was not folded good. There we go. And then there's that one. And what we gotta do is put this on the back, add some glue, and then place that right in the center, where it's even on both sides, top and bottom. And there's that one. Very easy card to do. Thank you, Bea. I love this set too. And I had a couple of people who ordered it, so it's like, okay, let me do that. All right, on card number 2, it's going to be the fisherman, except we're going to go ahead. We're not going to color this one in, just to show you don't have to color them in. And then this is gray granite, 4 1/4 by 11. Like I said, these are all landscape cards. So when you want the card to stand up, you want to cut it that way. There we go. Out. I see that. All right, so on this one, we're going to make a background, but it's going to be the trees. Come on. I know it has to be with the program. Now I'm going to space this, and then without re-inking, I'm going to stamp it in between. So that way we get a variation. And we'll do this one. I'm going to stamp it off, and then stamp over here. Stamp off, and then stamp over here. So that gives us the tree background. Move that out of the way. So you see that? Now, before we mount that, we want to put our DSP on. Like I said, this is a 1 inch by 4 inch. And it's from the B paper. There we go. There's that. Now we can go ahead and mount that to that. And add the glue to the back. And you see I'm going a 1/4 inch inside the paper, because otherwise it would seep out. We don't want that. There's that. Now, on this square, 2.5 inch white, 2 3/4 inch pecan pie, we're going to stamp the fisherman. And we're not going to color him in. He's just going to stamp with the mossy meadow. Just color on color. That's what I wanted to show you. You don't have to color him in. He looks good just like that. Very easy creating. Don't think you have to do a whole bunch to make handmade cards. Some people just overdo them. Or they try to do a whole bunch of different type of folds. Folds are fun, but remember, unless you're sending it to another card person, they don't understand the intricate and all the work that you put into it. So remember that. But a handmade card created by you to send to them in any measure they love. Then this one, I'm going to bring it all the way over to the edge of the DSP, so that way we can see the greenery. Now, if you want to put a sentiment, I would put a sentiment here and then mount it on dimensionals. Okay? So there's card number 2. What did I do with the card number 1? Just had it. I don't know what I did with it. Okay. Oh, there it is. We'll be able to have those. I'll show at the end. So card number 3, I'm going to have the fish stamped and color them. And then this is Old Olive, 4 1/4 by 11, landscape card. And press in the center there. Let me get my bone folder out. I've used my fingers for the last 2 times. There we go. There's that. Okay, so we want to stamp a background on this one. So, we're going to do the fish, but we're going to do them in green. Because then we're going to stamp them in black. Now I'm going to put them closer together, because we really want this to stand out. And hoping somebody catches a lot of fish when they go fishing. There's that. Then we're going to go up underneath here, the small one with the big one. And then vice versa. Oh, I didn't do that one very good, but I'll make sure I cover that up. All right, let me close this pad up. Now, I want to twist this off because we're going to use that on the square with the memento. There we go. Make sure I got them all in there. Actually, we're going to turn this diamond shape. There we go. Okay, so let's close this up. Then we're going to color them in. But I'm going to go ahead and mount them first, because we are going to turn them. We're going to add a little bit of glue on this. And then add that to the square. And move that over a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now, on this one here, we want to add the 1 inch by 4 inch DSP. I hate when I see that screen flashing, y'all. I did get a notification. Maybe they had enough people complain about OBS Studios. Maybe, and they've got a new download, so I'll probably have to download it again. Okay. Now that is that. Now we're going to go ahead and add the glue. Come on, stop doing that. To the back of this. And then glue that on to our card base. And then this one, remember, we want to turn it diamond this way. I almost put it on wrong. Thank God I checked that before I went to go and glue it. You want to turn it diamond. And it fits perfectly. I'm just going to center it on either side, the right and the left. There we go. And then press on that. I think I knocked the lid down the floor for the glue. So on these, I'm going to go ahead and color the whole fish blue. And then we're going to go back and highlight. I'm going to color the inside of the mouth though. And we're going to highlight with other colors for it to stand out. Because the blue is lighter, the other colors will come and stand out. I'm going to use the pecan pie. And I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay. And those will enhance them. And then on the smaller fish, I'm going to use the soft sea foam and color it. Because it's a light green. And I actually need to use writer's tip because that brush, I think, is done. Yep. There we go. And these are very easy to color with. All right. So I'm going to come back with the pecan pie. I'll highlight the mouth. This one I'm going to highlight his gills. And this one we'll go up here and just highlight a couple of areas. Not much. Those little dots. And a couple of areas on the gills. Same here on the green fish. There we go. And then last but not least, then we'll bring in the Bermuda Bay. That adds more of a blue. And it really stands it out. But very easy coloring. Don't have to do much. You can even just follow the lines on the fish. So the green fish is done. I'll bring it up closer to the camera after I get finished coloring it. I can't hold it up there and color. I would make a mess, that's for sure. There we go. But there it is. See how nice and neat that is? And then you can add a sentiment here, or you can, you know, hang a small lure or one of those weights. You can add whatever you want to it, just to give you an idea how easy it is. So, here is card number 3. Card number 2, very easy to do. And card number 1. So, I have to lay these out to where you can actually see them all across the board, but I don't know if they'll fit. They should. Probably do them this way, because that's easier, because that way you can see them all in the picture. There we go. So I hope you've enjoyed those. Very easy to create. And it's an easy template to follow, and you can change it however. You saw how I did this one over here, and then turn the square diagonal. So hope you've enjoyed. Have a wonderful week. Stay cool. It's supposed to be cooler this week. And have a great weekend. Take care, and thanks for showing up and watching, or taking the time to watch the replay. See you back here next Monday. Bye-bye.